you
Yeah.
you all started
Yeah.
fresh out the gates.
Fresh out the gates.
Brand new band on the scene.
Brand new band.
Horizon. Was that logo something like a little rainbow
Yes,
something?
yes. And Mark Horizon.
Horizon in it.
That's correct.
Yes.
And I get it inside now.
Yeah.
And say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to one and all. I hope I'm recording because last night we started jam right, I recorded. I inside.
Yeah.
So we're on the second edition right now of On the Block.
Yeah, man.
And today is, today is a day that I say, well, boy, the first set of guests that I have on board is people who is like friends, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, yes, they're entertainers, yes, they've been around a long time, but the thing about it is, we go back a long way. So it's better I start with people who I'm familiar with, people who I know for a long time, who in his own probably, and some of you may or may not know of them, right? Because they're probably off the circuit for a little while now, or on the circuit, but not as visible as everyone else. And I'm like, right now, this is one of my good brethren I want to introduce to Trinidad and Tobago, the rest of the world, by extension the world, because we're going to jump on. This is the second edition of our podcast, second filming of On the Block, basically, with your host, Shervon, a.k.a. Peanut Coffee. I had to drop the black coffee because, black coffee outside in Europe there is the big black coffee, so I had to take a back seat to the big guns, you know what I mean? I had to take a back seat. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the microphones and On the Block today, and with I can't begin to say by this. When he started to talk, I mean, you're seeing what it is, but when he starts to talk,
you know the
get
history.
to understand and get to know the history of the guy. For those of you who have no idea who he is, the younger generation especially. And some of the older ones who forgot about, wait now, hold on, long, you see. On the block today, none other than man, Curtis
Spongy Oliver. CSO.
Yeah, that's CSO. Yeah. The CSO Spongy, boy.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
Cheers, man. Cheers to the New Year's. Yeah, man.
Toast to the block. Cheers to life. Cheers to health and strength. Well, boy, welcome on the block.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
We're on the block today, boy. Spongy, boy.
Yeah. We linemen.
Back out.
And we
back
talking.
to Trinidad for over, a few months now. You in and out of Trinidad every so often.
I hardly just be in Trinidad.
Well, really.
I just come in here for really a month.
A month?
A month.
Only? Damn.
Yeah, so I leave in next week.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm trying to slow down now. And,
Get yourself together to refocus.
Get myself to refocus, yeah.
Right, so Spongy, the block is basically this, right? We getting down to the nitty-gritty, getting down to when this thing started for you and come all the way up the road. That's what we get into. That's how the block is.
Yeah, man, I ready for that.
I know.
I ready to talk about that.
I know you man have a lot of history too.
Yes,
You have a lot of history to share with us, a lot of vibes to share with us because you have been in this industry for, actively how many years now, honestly? Have been in the industry?
Could be 30-something years.
You serious?
Because I really started the time when Tony Prescott and Nicole Graves and KV Charles and even Marshall,
that was
when he started. I started before Destra. And,
really?
Yeah.
Yes, man. Yes, of course. Yes.
Yes.
I know. That's right.
Yes.
Because Destra came in the late 90s.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
I started in 92 with a band called Sunberg right here from Barrett area. And people will know them as Majors.
The Majors.
That is the Batiste brothers.
Right, David and
and Morty Moore.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Sunberg.
And Nigel. Yeah.
Damn.
I tell you much years. Yes.
So that's your first. So okay. Let's rewind a little bit.
Yes.
I had to come into the frame a little more because right now we're using the
nicely.
Right. So we're the full frame there.
Nice.
Right. So let's get Spongy. Where are you from originally?
Originally,
as we describe it as Where neighbor Stringberry?
My neighbor Stringberry in the Port of Spain General Hospital. But my mother, my mom, and of course my father, they are originally from St. Vincent. Vinci. So I have lots of roots in, St. Vincent. And of course my mom reside, of course, in Pity Valley.
Right.
That is where I'm originally from. Pity Valley.
Pity Valley.
With a single mom, 11 of us.
What?
Yeah, 8 girls, 3 boys.
What?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big family?
Yeah. So when you see Spongy calm, quiet, kind, and, relaxing, it's because I get all of that from my mom then.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
You always emphasize, I know you're real cool.
Yeah.
Collective,
Nothing about
only when you're on stage.
Yes.
Then
something
different.
different.
Something else happens when
Yeah,
you're on
something
stage.
that's click.
He click.
Something that's click, yeah.
Something that ignites.
I just chip off when I reach on stage.
So, started in humble beginnings in Pity Valley, basically.
Yeah.
Pity Valley, what part of the valley?
Simeon, Sparrow. We used to be in Sparrow pool, jumping over the fence. As this woman jumped over the fence last night in Pandy thing. Yeah. So the young brigade. Yeah, so for the young brigade, we used to go in there and watch, all them singers, Natasha Wilson when she had just came out, all these people passed through the 10 Super when he was just Blue Boy.
Wow.
I see all of that. That is the first time I really love entertainment because of Super Blue.
Really?
And up to now, Super Blue is still my hero because he is so down to earth and so nice as an entertainer then.
Yes,
and
for real.
when I saw Super Blue, I said, nah, boy, I want to be in this thing, boy. And even Sparrow too.
Right. Well, of course, Sparrow. Sparrow Drive.
Yeah.
That's the home.
We was like family there because my sister used to work for Sparrow.
Okay. So then you had that musical aspect around you, basically.
All the time, yeah.
Really and truly.
Yeah.
So anybody in your family, anybody else in your family?
None.
Really?
I am the only one. And let me get a story now.
When
I decided to, I was doing well in school. Well, I wouldn't talk about my like primary school and all of that. I'll talk about like when I went Trinity College.
Oh, okay.
Right? When I went Trinity College, I had the opportunity to go back to school, to go and work in a bank. And I told my mom, I said, no, I want to be in music. My sisters, the one who lived in St. Martin, everything, they were mad with me, asking mommy why I don't go back to school because education and blah, blah, blah. And I decided I want to be in music. And I told mommy that, and she said, okay, what you want to be would be, because they keep saying in the music business, it had no money in it.
Oh, really?
It had no money, it had no future. And I just decided to do that.
Yeah.
And now them like
yeah, but they
calm down. You make the right move, boy.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up in Simeon Road? I mean, outside of the fact that growing up in Sparrow, and Sparrow Hideaway, and then with Sparrow Hideaway one side, and then of course on the direct opposite side, on the main road side, would have been
the street
Kitchener.
Yes.
Kitchener,
over on that side, yes.
Over on the other side, Reno Rama.
Yes, Reno Rama. Yeah.
On that side, you had the opportunity to go for it.
Of course. Of course.
Well, I would imagine.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people didn't know Kitchi and Sparrow
was so close.
It was real close.
Real close.
Exactly. Close in terms of getting a bit of history from them, from those guys. They were also close in relations with regards to writing.
Yes.
Kitchener used to write for Sparrow.
Yes. And it are people who didn't know that too.
Yeah. And they would swear when they hit the stage.
Yes, there's rival. But that's how it is. It was a nice rivalry.
Not like Baz and Manning.
Yeah. Not like now. Not like now.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
so
growing up in Simeon was, I'll tell you one thing, we wasn't rich.
Right.
But one thing, my mom is a single mother I talking about here. That's why I love that woman to the core. She gone and I still love that woman.
She passed on.
Yes, she passed on. But that woman used to make sure that we have, I never in my mind ever think that I didn't have something to eat, clothes on my back, never went to school hungry, nothing like that. That woman take care. She was extraordinary. That's my hero, really, yeah. And growing up there, it was, a little tough, see me, That's where I get my name from, too, because I was a church boy also.
Spongy?
Yeah, I was a church boy.
Right.
And
singing in choir and things, just?
No, well, it's Baptist church. My mom and them was Baptist, but I was I was the pumper in the Baptist church. They used to call me the rhythm man in the Baptist church. When I start to sing, everybody catching power. Yeah, I'm telling you. So
So now hold on. So were you also, do you play any instruments?
The thing is, I play a little keyboards and I play a little guitar. Every time I started to go to school for that, I had was to fly out because I started so young in the business. I had to fly out. I end up with, we ain't reached there yet, but a big band. And then after all, every time I have to learn is a flight out.
So what age did you actually started?
About 20.
Officially jumped
out? In 1920. By 21, 22, I was in Massive Chandelier.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
no, this is news to me. You were Chandelier?
Yeah, Massive Chandelier.
With Ronnie and...
That's correct. Myself, Peter Lewis.
Peter C?
Peter C.
Yo, listen.
You see?
This program is something I don't know. The intention is to just really and truly have a one-on-one with and actually give respect to you guys who really put in the work and lay that foundation. But when this kind of foundation you're laying here right now, I've got a long time and I say it's harder than Harry Creed.
Yes, I'm telling you.
So you were in Chandelier, Massive Chandelier.
No,
what year was this?
That was 93. 93, 94. So what ended up happening then, it was that Sundberg, Tony Prescott had left and went to Atlantic.
Right. So that's 90s.
Ian Nicole.
90s?
Yes. So they were looking for a singer and I went to the audition. I heard somebody tell me that they have an audition, a band in Barataria.
Right.
And I should go because they always hear me singing in the grocery. I used to work in the grocery while going to school and stuff and things too.
Right.
So I went on audition and they say yes. But I spent a few years with them. And then, playing all around Trinidad and stuff and thing. And then after, Massive Chandelier was looking for another vocalist. And while I was there, somebody say, hey, I think it was Robert Cherry or one of them called me and say, we have an auditions, come down and audition. And the time I auditioned there in Massive Chandelier, the same day I got the job.
You were serious?
Same day I got the job. So next day I was rehearsing with the band.
You were serious?
Yeah. And I met one of my next hero, which was, of course, Ronnie McIntosh.
Yeah.
But them times he was too cocky. He was too cocky. That is Mr. Arrogant. But I can tell him that in the face because I just see him the other day too. You know what I mean? So it's nothing, we on the block here. We talking block thing.
That's Ronnie. Knife Macintosh.
What? As
long as I get it, I'm happy.
What? Hey. So it was kind of difficult.
And then he didn't. That wasn't on the road yet. That was before.
That was.
That was before. That was way before.
That was before. Yes, the year before. I joined the year after.
You joined the year after. After what?
On the road, the carnival after he sang on the road.
So wait, hold on. So how long were you in Sundberg for? How long you stayed?
Probably about 3 years or so.
3 years, so that is
3 years earlier.
92
to 93, 94.
92 to 94.
Yeah.
You know, finishing secondary school.
Yeah. So you can imagine my age, but I don't look it,
No, well, I mean, I trying to figure out. That is what I'm trying to work out in my head.
Yeah.
Because you say it started at around 19.
Yes.
And then they come into Chandelier, the massive Chandelier.
Yeah.
So, okay. I now put it together. All right.
Nice.
Good. So you're inside Chandelier now, and that's so 95.
That same year I started travel with them.
Really?
Same time I had to quit my job in the grocery and start traveling. The whole summer in Toronto and all these places and everything.
Really?
Yep.
Hitting the road.
Hitting the road.
Serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. One time.
I mean, everybody has a different experience with touring because
Yeah.
most bands after Carnival will leave Trinidad and
Yeah.
start a tour.
Yes.
So your insight with your insight with Massive Chandelier, and how long you with Chandelier?
I stayed about how much years, boy, till 96, 97, because Ronnie had left to go to Atlantic.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He and Raga, because it had, of course, whatever issues at the time with, of course,
Chandelier.
Iman and Hector.
Is this Iman Hector?
Iman Hector.
He was a guitarist.
The bass man. He was
Bass.
the boss of the band and the musical director, everything. Remember, he used to write for Ronnie too.
Did he?
That's the man who write all them big songs for Ronnie.
Iman Hector.
In that time, yes.
Wow.
Happy and
Happy
shaking
was-
it
Happy
and
was-
all them kind
Happy
of
was
things.
88, isn't it?
Yeah,
it was
I can't
1988.
remember what
Yeah, I
year.
think it was
But
1988.
yeah,
It was
all them songs through the area of the
So
80s.
Donkey would have been 90. Well, yeah, Ronnie will come.
Yes,
and
he will come and explain all of
clarify
that. Yes, yes.
But your experience in Massive Chandelier
Yes.
with Ronnie McIntosh
was on the road.
was something
Yeah.
super phenomenal for you, I would imagine, because
Well, of course, I mean, I always watched Ronnie and I always wanted to be in a big band and imagine to just, some people that don't happen to them like that, to just be in a big band just like that. And the experience was nice. I mean, traveling was nice and things, but, it had its issues.
always.
Always.
Always, I mean,
In big bands, a long time, it's always some kind of bickering, some kind of thing. And,
what you
but,
call it, ego?
but, yeah, ego. Ego. It still have it up to today.
Of course.
But I am one of the one who that's why they call me, Spongy, because I always hold my corner, stay out of any problems,
Yeah.
and just do my thing.
Yeah, so you,
I never get in between of anything.
Yeah, you still.
I stay out.
I remembered, I remembered you in the earlys.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Chandelier by? They say 96, 97.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then 96, 97. So in between that time, did you have any songs out there that was popping and happening at the time, or this was band music? Or
It was band music.
band music.
Band music, yeah. I didn't start recording yet.
Yeah, were you
I started recording after Chandelier.
okay? So you weren't really on
No.
personal recording. That was a
No.
personal decision, or that was a decision by the
No,
band?
I mean, it's finance.
Right. So I asked a question. I had an interview with Star,
Mhm.
and I asked a question. He said he wasn't sure because, of course, again,
Yeah.
band situation.
Yeah.
And I was asking him, what was you have any idea of a cost to record a song back then?
Yeah, and then you couldn't waste time. So at that time, I think I wasn't even ready for recording because
Right.
you remember they using tapes in them time.
Reel
You
to
can't
reel.
go. Yeah, you can't go and waste time in the cussing your hand again on. So I stayed away from that. I was just a lead singer
Right.
until I feel comfortable enough to get behind a mic and start a record, and that was in Horizon.
Horizon. Okay, well, I guess that's down the road.
Yes,
Is it?
that is after Chandelier.
So you went to Horizon after Chandelier?
After Chandelier.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Steve Seeley
Yes.
and Anselm Douglas and Nicky Cordner.
Ooh. As I told Star,
Uh-huh.
all you will call something. I told you that's all you will call something. Is that alright?
Yeah, yeah,
Nikki?
Nicky Cordner. She's out in the US now.
Yeah. I know that. I know
Yeah.
she migrated a little while now. Nikki
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Nikki was a good friend of mine, man. Nikki
Yes.
was super cool.
Of course.
Very unique. It's
Yes.
kind of eccentric dress.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes.
Very
Animal was the drummer in that band and all.
Who? Animal?
Animal.
What you saying?
I'm telling you.
Okay.
He would just come out a second image and came across that.
Second image.
Yes.
What is... Listen, big man. Hold on.
Yeah.
There's plenty information
Yeah.
to absorb at one time because
Right, you see?
that's some
I have plenty
serious,
information.
I serious history you're calling. You're
Yes.
talking about that serious.
Yes.
Because I only know Animal,
Yeah. From Bungie or Ecstatic?
Gregory, Ecstatic.
You see?
I only know
Yeah.
Gregory and Ecstatic.
Nah.
And I was Ecstatic
Nah.
in the 90s.
Gregory is the first drummer that toured with Horizon.
Right.
The following year when we started that band, the following year Anselm and who let the dogs
So
out.
was that... I 97. or 98.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
1998 Carnival.
Yes.
Who Let the Dogs was 98 Carnival
Yes.
because, again, that's the first time I went to London.
Right.
So that was big outside.
So
That was
I
big.
joined Horizon
So was
in
that a band that
97.
started from scratch with everybody as new members, or
Well,
was that an existing band?
no, Steve had left Traffic.
Right.
Steve had left Traffic. I think he spoke with Anslim, and they needed some young blood.
Right.
So I was one.
And some had left Atlantic. And Ansem was at Atlantic.
I think was Atlantic or Traffic. I think was Traffic.
Ansem Douglas was it Traffic?
No, Anslim yes was with Atlantic.
Atlantic, yes.
But Steve
Was it Traffic?
was with Traffic.
Of course, down south.
Right. So when that happened, Steve decided to bring his own band.
Wow.
John Gill was the manager then. So they ended up getting in contact with me, and that time Chandelier had Jojo, myself, and this boy Jamel Fortune.
Right. Star mentioned his name, Jamal Fortune.
Jamel
so
Fortune.
That was Chandelier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. and he
Jamel
was
Fortune was
energetic.
he was in the band with Gordon first.
Okay.
Nicky Cordner and Jamel was in the band with Gordon Samuels.
Yeah, boy. I wonder where
He died.
He died.
Yeah, he died about what when COVID time
Oh,
in
shit.
Guyana.
Who?
Gordon Samuels.
Well, Gordon, yes. Gordon,
Yes,
yeah. I know
but
Gordon.
Jamel's still alive. Jamel
Where's
is
Gordon?
back in Trinidad doing I think karaoke shows all over
Serious.
South or something.
That'd be a
like that.
good. That'd be a good
Yes.
hookup if you. I mean, get
Yes.
a number for me. This.
Yes.
We are
Of course,
interested to have a chat with him.
I'll get the number for you.
Yeah, trying to get Steve as well too. You know, because
Really?
yeah.
I haven't seen Steve in years.
Yeah, really.
Yes. I haven't seen plenty people in years, because I don't be around.
Yeah.
And when I come in the country, it's just for me to see my family, do what I have to do, and get out.
Wow, you'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But
Yeah.
we hitting
The band life.
95.
Yes.
96.
97. Yeah.
And then Horizon is in play.
Yes.
And right, so I mean, I will somewhat, sometime, probably every so often mention
Yeah.
in different podcasts of know that
Yeah.
97 is when I started.
Yeah.
in radio.
Right.
96 and 97.
Yeah.
And I think I remember when Horizon came out.
Right.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
all started
Yeah.
fresh out the gates.
Fresh out the gates.
Brand new band on the scene.
Brand new band.
Horizon. Was that logo something like a rainbow?
Yes.
something?
Yes. And Mark Horizon.
Horizon in it.
That's correct.
Yes, I'm seeing that.
That's correct. And that is when I started to record.
Okay.
So we had a song on the album. It was called Tan Tan.
Yeah, that was an instrumental something. more
Yeah, but
than
we were
instrumental.
singing also on it.
Yes.
Yes. So Steve, Seeley, myself,
Was that a live way something?
I love we.
Yeah.
Tan Tan,
Yeah.
Tan Tan.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was in dread
Yes,
instruments.
yes.
Going down the line.
yes.
I remember that. That was a staple on 105.
Yes. Done by, of course, Ibo. Ibo was the man
Junior
in them time.
Ibo
Yeah.
Joseph, boy.
He was the man, the producer in them time. The big producer.
He's still around.
He's still around, but doing, of course, calypso music because
Yeah.
as everything, people move on to the hottest thing that
Mm.
I saw Trinidad operate.
So you're inside Horizon
Mm-hmm.
and thing jamming because I know Horizon, they did come in and make an impact. That
Yes, but that was a good vibes
Yeah.
with Horizon.
That's
But
a nice front line too.
yes, it
That's
was
a
a
real
real,
good front
it
line,
was
a
a
tough front
real good vibes. And then I don't even know how Horizon fizzled out. To be honest, I can't even remember how Horizon fizzled out.
You were with them when they fizzled out, or you had moved on after because
I had I'll tell you, I got a call from Ronnie and Raga
right,
and
Slim Boy.
because Blacks was leaving Blue Ventures
Ah,
to go to Roy Cape.
rotted. It's 90s.
Yes.
Rotted.
Yeah?
So, okay. Alright, so we're going now.
Right.
Alright? We're going now.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yes.
explain them to her because
Yes, I will.
mean, it doesn't matter, you see again. Some of the things that what the information that you would have, Sponge,
Yes.
is a matter of things
Yes.
that again people probably had a big question mark on their mind as to what really went on.
What went on?
What went on? I mean, we had to get into nitty-gritty details, but at least, you know...
No, we could. I
Yeah.
don't mind. Sometimes you have to spill some of the beans too.
Yeah.
You know.
I really had no idea how Horizon, was it a financial situation?
I really think it was financial, and there wasn't who was ever the I know who is the manager, but I think they wasn't looking for the jobs.
Who was the manager? Still, John Gill?
Yeah, I'm a father. I remember.
Yeah.
So
They wasn't working hard enough.
For
The PR line was weak.
The PR was weak
Yeah.
with the band, and then after
But then it was in a tough space as
A
well,
tough
because
space.
that's like that part of the 90s, big man.
yes,
The bands was
the
sparking.
bands was sparking.
Yeah.
I wouldn't lie, that was the best time. The 80s, 90s was the best time in soca music,
Okay, yeah.
because tent singers had big songs. Band singers,
10 million Calypso 10s.
Calypso tents, like
Yeah.
Barra and all of them come out from the
Yeah.
Calypso the Calypsonians had big tunes
Yeah.
that was playing in parties and they coming in parties. Band singers had big tunes because I sing with Taxi and all of these guys. Not me, I
Oh,
sing
well, I know what I
personally,
see.
but what I mean in Soca Village,
Within that zone.
Blue Ventures, Taxi,
So you mentioned Soca Village. You perform in Soca Village?
yes, a performance Spectrum and all.
Soca Village was around in the 90s, in the late 90s?
Of course,
Serious?
yes, but right by the
mid-90s?
yes, the early 90s.
Early 90s and
Yes.
like mid-90s, because
Yes.
I trying to remember that whole scenario.
So it was the car park opposite Hilton.
Hilton.
And
Not
then
Hilton, Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn, and Holiday Inn now used to have their own party too,
Right,
which
I
we
know
used to
that.
play in also.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you see?
Yeah, boy.
But the thing is, it had so much room for so many artists
Uh-huh.
and singers long time, and all the music used to be played.
Well, it wasn't much in terms of what it's compared to now, because back then, as I was saying, you had a press record, big man.
Yes.
You have to press record,
Yes.
so you ain't gonna try and waste no money
Yeah.
to do nothing
Yes.
stupid. Then your recording
Of
time
course.
was
Of course.
lengthy.
Of course.
And I'm still trying to get a cost as to what one song would have been.
I think in them times, because I went by IBO already, and the cost was $4,000 or $5,000.
In the 90s?
$4,000-5,000
To record a song?
a song, yeah, 4,000 or 5,000. Some people you will get it for 3,500. So 3,500 to 5,000. That's the high end of it.
And that is the
Yes.
big top notch producers back in the day.
Yes, and now it's 20,000,
For a song?
10,000, 15,000.
For a song?
Yeah, one song. Now
Wait, Trinidad?
in Trinidad.
Nah.
But you're telling me.
But the amount of rhythm it having out here right now, big man, I don't think anybody paying for any songs now. Is
Well,
the
you see?
producers that own all the songs?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the next topic.
that's
we'll
our
touch
next
on
topic.
Eventually.
Yes,
But, I mean, right, so, Horizon,
Horizon.
jamming,
Mm-hmm.
Horizon started fizzle out, but before Horizon fizzle out,
Before Horizon fizzle out, I do some work with, of course, the Indian side of things, which is Trivini and Gaia Tones, because I think they call Roy Cape and they call some other people asking for a vocalist, and they give my number because
they point the direction.
to me, because they say I am one of the easiest person to work with.
Right.
No ego, no nothing. I come in and I do my work.
What happened if you had an ego, boy? Because listen.
No, well, that's my downfall in
I
the
know your
business.
vocal ability.
No, but that's my downfall in the business.
Really?
Because Robert Cherry and all these people used to tell me, I need to be aggressive. I need to be rough and disrespectful. You know, like, because that is how it was in those times.
Well,
Remember
I mean,
coming
I
up
guess
with
I don't hold
Marshall
your
and
own.
everybody. That is how it was. Big voices and Slim Douglas and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the whole own.
But that's not the point. I used to do my job.
Yeah.
But that is not it. They want a kind of aggression that they think will work. But that's the point with Trinidad. We doesn't want differences. So if Marshall or Bungie come with something, they want you to follow that. No. That is not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be your own individual, and they're supposed to like what
real.
you bring and not judge your music based upon somebody else.
For real.
And that is what kind of destroyed the industry, because when you go with your song, I mean, sometimes I know I sing some real, I mean, no, when you lie, that is, you know,
Not one of your best.
not one of my best.
Yeah.
And according to who write for me, you know, they chain up my head to take the song, to get them 1,000 or 1,500 for the song, and they know the song wasn't well. And then producers in them times, except for like Ibo or Neil Bernard, will tell you, nah, that song, that song is not up to par. Not all the producers will do that. They will take your money and just record it.
What do you mean that is what they're doing now?
They're doing it now too.
That is what they're doing
Big
now,
time
for
they're
sure,
doing
for
it.
sure.
Big time they're doing it now.
Yeah.
They're not directing or telling somebody this song ain't good, this melody ain't good, wherever, and they're taking 10,000 from that person. 12,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I guess history just basically repeated itself
Yeah.
over and over again.
Yeah.
But you hit the flip and you flip the script and you head
Yeah.
over to you say
Blue Ventures.
well, before in between Blue Ventures you had the
Indian, Triveni.
So how was that though? How was that experience? Because I know Derek Seals flip and never came back.
He never came back. But for
And
me,
he retired.
I was still working in Horizon and stuff. But I was just going and do gigs with them. But it was gigs all the time.
Well, yeah, they work non-stop, you know.
That's the thing with Indian bands. They work non-stop. I went all Guyana and do Doc Curry twice, stay in a millionaire home with Gaia Tones. Triveni, I worked the road, I did fets with them, all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
We had a real good relationship.
Yeah, and
Keisha Stewart and all used to be with
Triveni
Triveni
Keisha,
at that time.
Really free,
Yes, go on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So working with these bands, these other bands,
Yeah.
would you say that you got a tour more with them?
With Triveni, I never really went on tour with Triveni and them. I went with Gaia Tones, but I was mainly Guyana and
Mainly
these
Guyana.
places. Yeah.
Okay. But they never really hit the international market.
No, not with them.
Back in the days.
Because I got a call again. And that call from Horizon was to Blue Ventures.
Right.
And then it's tour again because Sinel just had River.
99.
Yes.
So you joined Blue Ventures in 99?
Yes, that same year, just like Chandile. I joined, Sinel had, what do you call it, River.
99.
99. They went and tour Blacks. Decided going your own way. I don't know why, because of course Ronnie in the band, so he can't shine. You know? Yeah, he can't shine.
Ronnie came over to Blue Ventures.
Ronnie was a cloud on many because he was that good. I have to give him that. He was that good. He have a own aura about him, and it works for him.
Yeah. Ronnie was Ronnie, and still is, even when he performs
Yes.
now.
Yes, he still feel he is the hot thing.
Well,
the hot slicer.
There's no
Confidence.
value
Like
on
confidence.
self-confidence.
Yes.
Have no value.
Yes.
And the thing about it is, again, probably me as well in the DJ,
Yeah,
DJ world, I don't possess that aggressiveness. I don't fight for that space in terms of, because my music, playing my music, speak for itself.
Yes.
That's at least what I think.
Yes.
But, you know, it's like JW asking me the other day, Coffee, all these years, how come you in monster huge and your style of music real
it's true, because
wicked, your whole presentation is
I remember a time when Black Coffee ruled the roost. I mean, ruled the roost. Everything is black coffee all
and
over the
mind
place.
you, for all the years, I some people say I was arrogant.
Yeah.
I honestly, I wasn't as arrogant as I should have been in that space.
Well, it's the same thing with me.
To maintain it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's come like a businessman.
Yes.
You can't sit down and study everything, because then your business will run a loss.
That's correct.
So you have to be a shrewd individual when they come in and do things.
Yes.
And some people just don't be around in the space, so that they have to show that level of arrogance. So when they're out there a little bit, you just see that person for that period of time.
Yeah.
And that's it, because you don't really see Marshall around, you see Bungie.
Yeah.
Fair, nobody around, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll see Ronnie Lyman.
Yeah, it's not like long
Regular.
time. We used to real line. We used to go watch other bands. That is when, bands was bands. So
Yeah.
you're going to learn something or hear the kind of mistakes.
hear,
You're
yeah.
always judging at that point in time because you want to be better at your game.
Of course.
It's not like that anymore because it's machines and
But
everything.
it have bands.
It have no bands.
I gotta commend Voice and if I try to bring back, Voice. It took me a while to really adapt to him in terms of his, But he tried something with a band. He has a band.
He cut in it. It's just backing bands really now. I wouldn't call it bands. It's just
they're not
backing
band
bands.
because they don't sing anybody else's song.
No.
And that's Spongy. So let me ask you this now.
Yeah.
How would you have retained? What was your method for retaining all that music long time?
No,
With regards to go and perform.
all right. For me,
Yeah.
I just had to write down the lyrics and sing it to myself twice to get the melody and listen it about twice again. And by the time I reach in the band room and perform it once, look at the paper, look at the words, some of the words I don't have. From the time I perform it with the band, the melody, the words used to stick. That's how easy it was for me.
Wow.
Even up to now, it's the same thing.
Serious, because remembering
All them
those
lyrics.
songs,
Yeah.
and then I guess with practice,
Yes.
makes better.
Yes.
So rehearsals were very important.
Yes, rehearsal was important. We used to get paid for rehearsal in them times. Yeah, with Massive Chandelier. I to tell you how because
it was nice.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. So even when we did, as I tell you, as I hit Blue Ventures, and we moving on, it's straight touring again, because it's a big band. I went Europe, not Europe, Holland for the festival.
What is it?
Yeah, about a big festival.
With Blue Ventures?
Blue Ventures. I also went all over the States, all over Canada. We did a lot of what do you call these things? Festivals.
Really?
All California and all these places.
Who was the person in charge of Blue Ventures?
Blue Ventures, Randy Hafide.
I have no idea who
Yeah,
that is.
it's a kind of a whitish guy.
I know Bobby Kwan.
Yeah.
I know.
That was. Oh, you're talking about Blue Ventures?
Yeah.
Nah, that was Bobby Kwan.
Right.
That was Bobby Kwan.
Who was Michael, is it?
No, Randy and Eamon was for Massive Chandelier.
Chandelier.
Yeah.
And they were so who you toured with? You say you toured with all the bands basically.
Yes.
And the Holland tour.
That was Blue Ventures.
Blue Ventures.
That was
So
Blue
Bobby,
Ventures.
Bobby.
That was Bobby Kwan. Yeah.
Right.
A real trouble with Blue Ventures.
Ventures.
Yes.
What was it like in a band? Was it a real girls running all over you? Was it? Was it looseness? Was it loose vibes or was it excitement?
No, it was excitement. It had some looseness. Because yes.
Wrong band man.
Yes,
Like,
now when you lie, I did some real things in band. Real things in band. It was a happy time then. The camaraderie and everybody just, once they get to know you and bond, men like Oba, he died too.
I know. I was.
Yes.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, or something. So, men like them and Slim is old talk, is Braga.
Slim.
Well, I think he managing Ronnie now.
Slim?
Yes.
Oh, short Slim.
Yes.
Slim.
Yes, Slim.
Right.
Same and Slim, but Slim.
Yes, Slim.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm thinking about? Sydney.
No,
I'm just saying. I'm thinking about Sydney when
Oh,
I say
yes.
Slim. I forget. Slim.
yeah, but Sydney, of course, was in the band with myself too.
Slim,
yeah.
no customer.
And Lima Calbio.
Lima, good.
Yes.
Lima, the darling boy.
And Lima. All
Lima.
of us.
I saw for Carnival last year.
I haven't seen Lima since I left Blue Ventures.
So, hold on. What?
I'm telling you.
You have not seen Lima since you left Blue
Lima.
Ventures? So, okay, so you're still with Blue Ventures or some 99?
So about 99, 2001. About 2001, I think I left.
2 years?
Yeah.
2 years, 3 years?
Yeah. Because an opportunity came up for me
Right, personally.
to do cruise ship.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what you've been doing since.
So before that, when Blue Ventures also was fizzling out, the Marcelin brothers, that's Bert, who was the trombonist,
And Mano.
Gary, Slim, all of them decided to form a new band out of Bobby because, you know, in watch now, band life is something else because once you're an owner, sometimes the owners used to really underpay. Let me be real, they used to underpay band people.
I was gonna get to that. I was gonna ask, what was it? Because I mean, with all the hype and all the vibe and all
No,
everything.
they just really underpay. I mean, I go through some stuff, even for my first band with Massive Chandelier, they say, you know, me and Peter had to pay our dues to get the same pay that, you know, the other members was getting. And I mean, it's like, I come here to tour, I leave in my country to go with all you to do the work.
Yeah,
so why I have to pay dues?
When you work offshore, you call that marine bonus.
Yeah. So why do I have to pay dues for that? They always like to tell you that you have to pay dues.
That's crazy.
And up to now, I still paying dues in the industry.
Oh, really?
Over 30-something years, I still paying dues. You know, I could go on any stage
Rip up.
and still sing without any lead vocals. And song like whatever I record or whoever song, whether it's Iowa, I'd love to sing Iowa songs, but I ain't gonna sing none of these songs now. But then yeah. Then I used to be the one doing all Iowa songs. I used to mash up sometimes more than Iowa. You could ask him. Because Iowa go tell you, boy, Spongy sometimes used to sing my song like if it's he on. I mash up oh God, Brass Festival. Tired mashup Brass Festival with Iowa songs.
Brass was the...
Yes.
And yeah, we spoke about that. Star was giving me a story with him.
Yes.
In
Charlie's Roots.
No, not even Charlie's Roots. That was
Airplay.
Airplay, right?
Yes, I remember Airplay with Jack and...
Yeah, when they perform, right?
Yeah.
Star say, he remember the second year Airplay, they in Brass.
Yeah.
Plays Ram.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And he got to perform. Not knowing it. Is that no backline? No back in mic. Because was what's her name? Monica Bostic.
Yes.
And what's his name?
Choco.
Was Choco?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Didn't show
Choco.
up.
Yes.
They didn't show up.
Yes.
35 minutes. He say he got some song he was singing. I can't remember his song with technology. And he looking for the answer, man.
Could be Short Pants or one of them.
It was some song he was singing.
Yeah.
He said he got and he started singing.
Yeah.
And he said when he waited and when they won.
Right.
He said, I will pussy have you and
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yes, sir, so coming back, right?
Yeah.
He said, I will pussy have you and you. He said, he do so. And look back, nothing. And Samuel Jack only did it so.
Yeah.
He said for 35 minutes out of the 45 minutes that they had to perform.
Yeah.
He performed and rip up Brass.
Yes.
And again, the unsung, I always call you guys the unsung heroes of this industry.
Yeah, because nobody doesn't, it's like, who is he?
Yeah,
or who is Spongy? And who is this? And who is that?
Because Spongy with the band.
Yeah.
But outside of that, they know Spongy presence outside was like, okay, with the band, go to work, jam, do what to do.
Yes.
But Spongy wasn't like a Ronnie or
a solo,
like
yes.
a Ann Slim. That is the... That go into
push,
the,
yes.
Yeah, the limelight.
No, but even self, it had sometimes when, you know, I had some things that could have kick off and, you know, they they get held back.
Serious?
Yeah. It have a story I want to give, but I don't know if I should give it.
Wow.
But I'll give it in quotes.
Right?
It had a time that I record and stuff. And a program director call me personally and say that someone had said, don't push me. Don't push my song. And the program director, that was the song that they like.
Yes.
And they wanted to push. So I got a breakout then.
Right.
And they got a call.
So you get squeezed.
I get squeezed. That's how the business does go. Up to today, well, they're squeezing you more now.
Well, boy, I ain't know that way.
Yeah, I guess squeezed.
But you know, and you didn't have those platforms back in the day that I have
No,
now.
no.
So you definitely get help back.
Again,
So you
yeah.
honestly, so because I know you had good songs.
Yeah.
I know you had some real
Yeah.
monster hits.
Yeah, and
But
that is
because of the band,
yeah.
they don't want to.
Yes, and
Wow.
that is what made me, make a decision to say, you know what, let me leave the soca alone. If soca can't love me back, let me leave this, because I would either go broke, crazy, frustrated, end up with nothing. And I have watched, the thing is, I made a decision in my life that I watched certain artists and calypsonians and stuff coming up and growing up, and realize what happened to them at the end, where you had to keep a barbecue for them, where they don't even have a place to stay.
Wow.
And I made that decision, hey, that would not happen to me. Because music is what I love, music is what I want to do, and it's not going to happen. That is when I made the decision to continue with cruise ship work.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen.
And get out a band.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is On the Block.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new podcast. This is our second episode, and together with my boy Curtis, Spongy, Oliver.
CSO.
The original CSO, the original Spongy.
Yeah, man, they love Sponge.
You understand? Representing for Trinidad and Tobago and flying the
All the
flag
time.
high,
Still.
sky high, if it's one thing I know. And like I say, we on the block. We just chilling, we hanging, we reminiscing. Good things, bad things, things that made a difference, things that changed the landscape or the dynamics of the industry, things that could have actually really changed it to betterment. But hey, this is what it is, and this is how the industry is. And I guess
why?
There's nothing. There's nothing again.
Why the industry is like that?
There's nothing because it's an industry with a conglomerate of people who has different opinions about stuff.
Or just decide to squeeze everybody else. They have their little bubble and circle and decide to squeeze
so how come
everybody
you
else.
didn't decide to pop a circle of your own or fall in a circle or
Nah,
your style?
I was never into that. I never wanted my. You see, with me wanting to be an entertainer, my dream was to be a big star, but
International?
no, forget the international. Let me say a big soca artist.
Okay.
But my dream was to always make a difference. Even up to now in my mind, I always say, if I get money, my dream was always to give back. It was always about charity. It was always building a school for boys and girls that are homeless, for women who are battered because, of course, my father, how he treat my mother. I always had that in my mind since then. If I become a popular artist in Trinidad and Tobago, that was always my dream from way back in the 90s, the early 90s, up even till now. I decide, Curtis, when you have got yourself together, this is the things that you want to do. You come across a piece of money, this is the first thing that you are going to do.
Well, yeah, I mean...
And then it didn't work out. If I was ignorant, if I was treating people badly, if I was...
I mean, you had your repercussions for that as well, eh?
Yes, of course.
That.
But it worked in the business for other people.
Well, I would imagine it being aggressive or defensive of your own space and aggressive towards that would have created or channeled you into the direction of, but then again,
I would have gotten in the circle.
Well, you would have gotten in the circle, but do you or would you really want to?
I would not have been comfortable with that. To be honest, I want to be an organic artist. It's either you like my stuff or you don't like it. And the world has become so open now to everything else that we focus so much on Trinidad and Tobago and, having a hit. Who wouldn't like to have a hit in their own country? Who wouldn't like to be a star in their own country? But the country, I shouldn't say the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, but the entertainment industry doesn't love you back.
Well, I am one that believes for you to make it in Trinidad, you have to be big outside.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true, and
that's my belief.
That is why I have taken the initiative now to have the right people in the right places. That is why I said, okay, I'm coming back at this again. You realize I'm not even staying for Carnival.
Okay.
First, I am not studying that. I'm just doing my rounds with my music and not staying.
Well, the thing about it is, so people on the outside love you more.
Of course.
And when people on the outside, people in the country see that you're getting love outside,
Of
is when
course.
they want to embrace it. But again,
Yes.
you also have to, and it is an ongoing topic and it's also every carnival is an ongoing
It's the same
topic.
thing. Same thing.
Right?
Nothing is changing.
No, but mindset is this. If you really go to sit down and study
Yeah.
what goes on here and who like you and who like you, whatever the case
Yes.
is, you will never make it.
And who talking?
Yeah, who talking it bad, who bad talking it. Again, you know,
And they don't
that
know the
circle,
story.
that circle, you know,
Yes.
the circle in that zone.
But let me tell you about Circle now, since you talk that.
Eh.
It's that a year, well, JD was with us.
JD, this is JD.
Yes.
JD, boy.
JD. Now, JD was up with Horizon for a little time.
Wow, yes.
And when we were going on tour, I said...
was that
the year he sang the
Yeah.
following year. But let me give you the story. I don't know, JD maybe never even tell that story either,
drinks,
but I...
we gotta get top up on drinks.
No, this is good. This is good for me.
I got top
Yeah.
up.
But
Drinks.
for me, JD was in the band, and I had the opportunity to go to Laundry. That time Laundry was recording people. But I went away with the band. I said, JD, Laundry is recording people. Go by Laundry. And, think there's an opportunity for you. JD went by Laundry. He got through with AEO. The next year he was big and huge.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how JD...
Yeah, but he only last a year.
Well, he only lasts a year, but that was the thing.
AEO, because he was in the same
with
rhythm.
JD.
Laundry had a song on that rhythm.
Yes, with
Coming
pressure
home,
and that
coming
pressure, Sanita, all of them,
Precious.
they come out through that area.
As you talk about that,
Yes.
that would have been Kirk Mitchell
Yes,
producer.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
Kurt Mitchell was
Kirk Mitchell.
that time in he and the one who even used to think KMC. I forget he died.
Shell Shock,
Not Shell Shock.
Daryl,
Braxton.
was
All of them was
yes.
in that space at
Yes,
that
Daryl
point
Braxton
in
was in
time.
KMC band.
Yes, and plus Terrence James. All of them was the big producers in them them time.
But that was by Laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Laundry had a full production.
Yes,
A full
right
production
inside it.
team. And now people talk Chinese Laundry, yeah, and he did what he had to do.
yeah, but they create damages too
They
to
did.
the culture.
They did create a lot.
Up to now, it's still being is damaged. That whole soca switch thing, where Laundry bringing and your former station Tempo
105.
105 used to play soca all the time. Everybody starts switching.
Yeah,
And
they
I
say
think-
soca. They say soca have no money in it.
Right, and
Why
that,
say they killing the soca artists?
but they're killing the soca artists, and they have played a part in killing the culture.
In culture.
That
Bad.
that create a space now for R&B to run through, dub to run through, hip hop to run through.
Well, you know, Spongy,
Mhm.
in reality, right?
Yeah,
What they did was just virtually the from ever since I remember
yeah,
growing up,
yeah,
from Ashman's they also got done
yeah,
on the radio
yes.
because of the
On
what do you call it, length.
we understand
And
that,
that
but
is what
but,
gave room, because soca get cut off the radio. You can't play soca on the radio.
but then
And then
after
you have to play, and then the only thing was left to play was dancehall,
yes.
R&B, pop. Everything else was allowed to play.
Right,
besides
so that
soca
was
music.
it. They give that a road to run and take over Trinidad. Trinidad is no more a cultural.
But but that wasn't the radio station fault.
Yeah, but then after Easter, soca
start-
music was playing.
They start back after Easter, but what I'm saying, that
Yes.
was the radio station fault that they stopped, because I working on the radio.
No, I understand that, but the switch,
Yeah.
the switch is what changed up things in this country.
Well, of course.
So he has a part. Laundry has a very big part. he played in you know, switching our culture.
Well, Chinese Laundry was no soca man, or Chinese Laundry was
Right,
dancehall.
all of them. But
He was with cassettes on the street and
Yeah,
level dancehall. And
but the thing is,
sound clash and-
most of these
And
DJs,
where he came from?
most of these DJs who are running into sing soca now, they were dancehall artists. They love they love dancehall more than soca.
I mean, like nowadays now.
Most of them DJs, I could call name, but I ain't going to even call name on this podcast because it
It
makes
doesn't
sense.
matter, because at the end of the day, I don't know what the hell, they can't stop it, they can't
Yes,
shut it down, they can't
I
do
know,
about it.
but
And it's nothing that we talking that is not
yeah,
factual outside.
it's you know, they love dancehall.
But I know they promote it. So I remember in the song system days,
Yeah,
right? Again, Chinese Laundry was, of course, dancehall. He promote dancehall. He had the biggest dancehall star. They had the biggest.
yeah,
show.
but he's a soca defender now, so it have money in it. Soca have money.
It
in
always had money in soca. Just certain people just circulate
Right.
around certain
Right.
people. Just like being a DJ,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the money circulates around a certain
Yes,
zone.
a certain zone, a
And
certain circle.
That's just facts. And I mean, it happens worldwide as well.
Yeah.
And again, everything is in a clique. I was never no
Yes.
clique. I was
Yeah.
never no clip. I was never part of any. And as they would say, coffee get blacklisted.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah, but
Right.
I feel I have done nothing to the culture or to people. If I have done anything, it's to myself.
Well,
But yet still, it
Honest
seems
man,
to
yeah.
me that I am blacklisted. For what reason? That is why I just always say soca is a petty business.
the music industry in the whole, you know,
It petty.
a lot of industries. But
No,
soca,
but soca is
Soca have a different.
soca is, you can't say anything. If I say something about coffee,
Yeah.
coffee
The circle small.
Coffee decide I will call some shots,
Shut
Spongy,
it up.
and shut me down. Which music is not supposed to be like that. If I am upset with coffee, or when I play on my program, I mustn't have a thing against music, because music is universal. I shouldn't say, okay, coffee did this to me, so I'm not playing coffee song.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be so petty.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be you in the
Well, that's the
station telling,
aggressiveness.
you in the station telling the other DJs, we're not putting that on rotation.
That
No.
is the aggressiveness. I could vouch from my side of things where
Yeah.
I used to come 105.
Yeah,
We never had any of that. We always would have a consortium.
yeah,
We would sit down and just analyze all the music.
yeah.
There was not one person at any time.
Yes.
In the earlies, it was Eric
Yeah.
Simonad was a musical
Well, he
director
was another one.
on 105
Mm.
by the earlies.
Mm.
But of course, those guys had their their stuff going on.
Yeah,
Right? And then we broke it down to, because there was a point in time when it is that I was put into the position
yes,
of being the musical director, and I had help from Chris Boynes
right,
on doing that.
yes.
And I say because of the fact that I am, because yes, thank you very much, glass empty, drinks done, man hungry in the corner here, yeah, you want to
Nah,
top up,
I
top
got
up there,
it,
you got
I
it?
got
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
There's some sorrel and thing there.
Nah, good
You got
day.
it? All right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I remember my whole thing was, what you see happen, right? My whole thing was, we need to do this thing as a togetherness,
Yeah,
right? So I come from.
that
Yeah.
is only on the block that has
Yeah,
happened.
when you're the block, everything
That
was
has
running.
happened. Hmm.
And okay, so we formed a team,
Yeah,
and we have sat down and analyzed most of the announcers.
yeah,
We have gone through music from soca to R&B to hip hop to whatever.
Right.
Whoever was introduced on 105 at the time.
right.
There was a period of time when Just Jace was over there and things changed. I went to change from
Well,
tempo
well, I have
to
some.
Vibe City 105.
I have some stories about some of these people,
Well,
and I still see them and be normal and be kind, but it have a time that I have some stories that where the disrespect and how they just treat soca artists. Now this same individual that you're talking about, now we good now, we okay if I see Judge Jace, it cool and everything, but this stuck with this,
Yes.
it stick with me for nearly my whole career.
they take a little tap,
Yeah.
a little dap, a little tap. On the block, we on the block.
Yes, I.
On the block.
It at that time, I come with some music. That time it was 98.9. You know when there was a TTT. Marval Road. And I bring my song, and one of the DJs, you know, listening to my song and thing, and Just This probably come hear the song. And I heard Just This saying, walking in the door, "You wasting time with that man? That shit." Just so you know. In front of my face, you know. And imagine, imagine, you wouldn't, as a young artist coming up, you would not say, let me talk to you a little bit, Spongy. The song that you have, it really ain't hitting, or it's not good enough. Here what you can do. Get a good writer, do this, do that, do that. That is the problem with
you would have preferred somebody give you some good
advice. And that is what do happen in the industry. The producer don't give you good advice, except for Ibo, Neil Bernard.
You ever recorded Leston?
No, I never record with Leston or Kenny, because I heard they'd also give good advice. Samuel Jack. They will tell you straight out, this not working, you need to go back to the drawing board. And that's what you need. You need DJs to give you good criticism, and not just telling you your song is blah, your song is this, your song is that. And they're not helping you. They're not helping the industry. They're not helping the young ones.
But I remembered an artist saying, no DJ can tell them if the song good or not, or help them in any way.
No, because most DJs didn't go to no school for that.
Right. So
most of the DJs coming out now, they get a computer, they put on a virtual DJ, start to play in the house, or Serato, and they become a DJ. So it ain't like DJ like you who been playing records and all them kind of things. That's what I'm saying. You Star Child, all these DJs, Dr. Hyde, Rocky, Papa. You know what I'm talking about.
Shouts to Star.
Right. You know. But that doesn't say a DJ cannot tell you, well, all right, you know, this needs so and so, or this needs so. But
you know who does that?
Who is that?
You know who does they would take advice from?
Yeah.
A DJ who lives in the US.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, why? And this has been my observation over the years.
Okay.
And an argument, I think, and a DJ who lives in the US especially.
Yeah.
DJs in the United States, Brooklyn especially, and Miami, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They take soca more serious.
Of course.
Than people who live in Trinidad.
No, they do.
They will fly that soca flag
higher than any one of them.
Play a lot of soca.
What not even playing in Trinidad?
In Trinidad. And I can tell you that because I rolled with DJ Spice for years.
I know that.
That's where he came from. And again, here the funny thing is, I was one of the few DJs. Now, there are other DJs who travel.
Yeah.
Well-traveled DJs.
Yeah.
Right? The Happy and Dane and those guys, you know, shut on them for us travel.
Yeah.
But a lot of other DJs never travel.
No.
They never left the shores of Trinidad. But we reached Tobago.
Yes.
Right? But they never travel internationally to see what happens on the outside. And that's why every year, my vibes was different.
Yes.
In the earlys, I started traveling 1998. When I just started radio.
Yeah.
I started radio in 96 into 97.
Yeah.
98 I was traveling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And I saw a difference. Now, Caribbean Tempo back then was Caribbean Tempo. We were getting the vibe of the Caribbean.
Yes.
All the different type of soca.
Yes, yes.
So the bouillon and the
everything,
zouk and
everything.
Everything we would have gotten for coming from the islands.
Yes.
When it changed in that year that Jace came. I can't remember what year that was. And it changed from Vibe City 105 because it's saying, you know, like they have to include other type of music, although we had the other stations playing the other type of music.
Yes.
But anyway, point in cases, one of those international DJs represent soca throughout the year.
Yes. Definitely.
throughout the year.
I know a few.
And they go into the different carnivals and the different islands.
Yeah.
And they really into soca.
They
and
into
I can't
soca.
fight with them
No.
because they, honestly,
They into soca.
100%
The
soca addicts.
DJs now, they into clique. They want Marshall to call them. They want Bungie to call them. They want Destra to call them. They want to say, hey boy, you're playing my song. That's how they hype them on now. Them on hype.
Yeah.
Them not the fact of imagine I come in to do a interview. And the interviewer or the DJ never even look or ask about my history or whatever. They don't know nothing.
You don't have time.
They don't have time.
You don't have time for that.
They don't have time, and what the DJs and the
stupid questions
what the
all
DJs
over.
yes and the radio stations do now, you know, learning from this experience as I come back and giving more contributions. What they do, they will give you a 2-wheel up,
Yeah.
but it didn't do me nothing
No.
because I know the game. So they will wheel you up and then watch now. When you leave that station, you never hear your music again. And that's how they're setting up
It's
artists.
sad.
And they put in artists. That is what.
Sad.
This is the point I want to make. That is how the youths of this country is not gravitating to the culture, because the culture is so closed off that it is not giving the youths an opportunity to really show their talent. And it's a real talented youths. That's why they go into all this Trinidad music and all kind of thing, because that's where they're heard.
Well,
they're traveling.
They're looking for space.
They're looking for a
They're looking
space.
for space. And I mean, we could get down into that whole zone and
Yes.
about them and the culture thing, because what we used to do on 105, and Eric came up with Eric Simba came up with that concept, right? We had something called the release valve.
Right.
Because of the amount of music that was coming out
Yeah.
for Carnival,
Yeah.
midnight to 5 in the morning
Right.
on a Wednesday, we'd use one night.
Right.
Right? Always after midnight.
Right.
There was not as big as day, but there was always a listenership in the night time.
Right.
The Wax, God rest his soul, Wax was a
Yes.
star in the night.
Yes.
So the release valve is what I was on when I
Right.
started radio. And the release valve was simply to do this.
Right.
The stack of CDs that you have coming in, or records that you have
Right.
coming in to the studio,
Right.
that
Play.
is what you playing in the
Play.
night.
Yes.
And you, me, he said me, Shervon, you tell me if you find
What
some
song?
song. Now, mind
Right.
you, you're playing it in between other songs. eh?
Yes. Yes.
So you're mixing it.
Right.
So it's like you're dropping a song,
Right.
a popular song, but
And
you're
then
playing
something
a-
else.
But then the release valve period used to be for 1
Right.
hour,
Right.
where we'd play all this music and have people interacting.
Right.
And it was the most amazing thing, because
Yes.
even artists are always just stay up after midnight
Yes.
to call in and say, well, yeah, I like that song, and pretend it's somebody else.
But there's my next problem, right? With dealing with what's happening now. Now, let me say your old station, 105, they play on a Friday, I think it is, or one of those days, Friday or Thursday, they have old school,
Retro Tuesday.
right? Retro Thursday.
Yeah.
Now, if they love the culture so bad, you're doing that for the whole year. Why when Carnival come, you don't forget about the retro Thursday and just play all, not the big artists. I'm talking about the new artist music for the whole day.
Well, to answer your question simply,
Yeah,
sponsorship
that's what it boils down to.
boil down to money.
So you see?
Your clients on the day want to be involved in what's happening as big.
Oh, okay. So that is why I said that soca music sets you up, because soca music tells you to come early as a new. They will call me a husband. It's okay, but I know I'm a champion. I know I'm a star.
Yeah,
I in business with them. But
Mash up anybody else on the
yes,
stage.
soca music sets you up because it tells you record early.
Yeah.
When you record early and bring it in the station, they tell you you're too early.
Well, that changed now. That has changed.
But it's the same thing going on.
Let's-
Because they will tell you Christmas, they're dealing with Christmas.
Oh,
They just
yeah,
play
nah.
the big artists. Sure, but
That changed now. That changed now. That real changed now. So much so Let me take a pause for one cause and get something to
Aye.
munch, put on your palate and chop down.
Yes. We on the block.
Yeah, we're on the block. So you know on the
We
block,
on the block.
you have to have food. So
Yes.
this one here is what you have is what is this? Jira
Jira?
chicken.
Okay.
You have some Jira chicken. Do you eat Jira? And it's not spicy.
No, I eat.
It's not spicy. Jira chicken.
I eat Jira on the block.
Jira chicken.
Yeah.
I don't eat meat
Right.
really. I eat
Yeah.
fish. So I have some pepper
Yeah.
fish here.
Pepper.
And you can get some pepper. No, you don't eat pepper.
Yeah,
So
I
I'll
do
leave it alone
pepper.
there.
So we
I-
good.
While we're on the block and we have a little drink,
Mm-hmm.
courtesy Cascade Caterers. You know, you can check it out online. You understand? What is one character? Courtesy, and you have sorrel juice. If you want some sorrel juice to wash down your arm, you can get a glass of sorrel juice to wash down your Jira chicken. I know you don't eat pepper, so I ensure that you don't have any pepper inside the zone. So, courtesy Cascade Caterers. Check it out online, Cascade22 on Instagram. You get all the information. That's one of our sponsors. Yeah, our very first sponsor. Sponsor.
Yeah, this show needs
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of sponsors.
Yeah, we have a lot of.
But this is a good program where you get in depth with artists,
down the line
and
because-
history and
Yeah, you have to, because at the end of the day, coming from radio, coming from the media, I saw things that I, of course, didn't really like, and part is what you were saying with regards to how they treat entertainers.
disrespectful,
board.
man. Disrespectful.
Yeah, right. Sorrel, yeah, right. And what happens to that is because of that, this idea, and I mean nothing is new under the sun, and
Yeah.
I'm sure this happened already, and other people have done it already, but I just adding to it. Hence the reason why we're not only just doing artists or entertainers,
No,
we're doing
everybody.
producers,
Yeah.
doing DJs. Everybody was responsible for helping the culture in any way possible going forward.
Yeah, man.
Whether, we look at it from the angle of being, it a bit down, or, we looking to make light of everybody who has played this part, and hopefully they can understand, the younger generation can get to learn, because that's one of the things. We didn't get to learn, really. For us to learn, you have to be willing.
Yeah.
The generation now, what happened to them is that
Oh,
they don't want you to tell them what to do.
no.
They
But
don't
I-
want you to show you what to
But
do.
I'll tell you something now. It have school children that doesn't know what is calypso, doesn't know what is soca. They don't even enjoy soca music. They don't want to hear
They're
soca
exposed
music.
to everything else.
They're exposed to everything else. I have seen that with my eyes, because I have a friend who teach, and she is teaching the class and asking them about soca and calypso and artists and stuff and things like that, and
That's it.
they don't know.
Because it's not.
But they know about Cayman 6, all the Trinidad music, they know it by heart.
Because you see, again,
That is what, and I am trying to tell her that is what happening in their homes.
but not only that alone, that they can relate. One thing soca artists don't have. You could correct me if I'm wrong.
No, say?
Togetherness,
No.
unity.
I don't have, the whole entertainment industry doesn't have unity. You remember years when they tried to kill KMC?
As in.
Don't
physically
play
or in
music. I am to killing. When I say kill, I don't mean,
It's correct.
yeah, his career.
Kill is correct. Kill is correct.
Career.
On him.
The same thing with Sunel Dempster. Once somebody new come in, they kill her career. Because Destra taken over then. And they're trying to do the same, of course, with Destra.
The Destra.
Yeah, it's the same. Because Patty running things. No, it's like a cycle in this
Who's Patty?
business. Patsy.
Oh. No, well, listen. You see, again, we could go on and on about what I use something at home, and as always say. We can talk all about the problems and the issues.
Mm-hmm.
One thing we don't talk about is the solution. Same thing with COVID. Oh, could we do this? Could we do that? Could we do that? What
Yeah.
What is the solution?
So where's the
What do you think is the
solution?
solution?
Where's the solution? The solution for me is the soca controllers, whoever in charge who does have the meeting. They actually right now they're running soca music to the ground.
Is there any really soca music again?
Well, we do have an industry, right?
I beg to
and no, we do have an industry because
I beg to differ.
well, you could differ, but I will.
What you know?
I say I know we do have an industry because the fact is we don't have people passing down their knowledge. We don't have people when they make it. If I make it, the way how the industry is set up that me and you been struggling, but when you make it or I make it, I forget about you. I'm not trying to bring you up because so long I waited to get in that spot and in that circle. Once I get in that circle, I want to stay within that circle to make money now.
Right.
And I'm not helping you, and that's the problem with soca music. We don't help each other. Each one help one. I get up there, I bring up 2 and 3 other artists.
Well,
It don't happen.
they love the Jamaican music.
Of
They
course.
love dancehall.
Of course.
But then following, try and follow suit because every dancehall artist goes out there, brings in and always busts 2 or 3 new artists on the scene at every show. And again, like I say, your solution is go to the what? To bring people in.
My
When they go
solution.
in, open the door, help open the door for other artists.
My solution
Young
is to
ones.
help open the door for other artists, educate people. That comes from the producers, everybody. Educate people in recording, educate people in writing what they should have to have a hit song. The radio stations to actually do something about is either you tell artists here what we want songs from August. And we not talking about the big name artists here. We want songs early from August. We're going to play and try to build the unknown. That is not happening. Right? Secondly, the big artists now have to realize that when they put out 10 songs each, they're killing the rest of artists, but they don't care either. Because you will tell me a radio station will play 10 songs each from every big artist. And we know the big artists and them. We know them by heart. And can't play one. I go bring 2 songs and they can't even play 1 song from me. I have sent my song to you. I send my song to other DJs, all that before I even release it. And the only thing I gain is good response. If my songs and them was anything else, all you would have told me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
And then when it reach on, you go to program directors and they and all like the song, but yet still they want to play. So what they want? If you want money, state that it have packages. No, state that it have packages that you have to pay when you bring your song. So if you want your song play, the radio station and them have to be clear about certain things. So if you want your song to play every shift, this is a $5,000 package. If you want your song to play twice every shift, to build your song and thing, okay, this is $7,000 or whatever, but make sure you inform the artist of what is happening.
Spongy, really?
Yeah.
Nah. That way the aggressiveness come in. You don't possess that. So.
No, I don't possess it.
I mean, I'm just saying. That way the aggressiveness come in.
Okay, so give me some advice on...
No, what I would say is this, right? What I would say is...
Because you know it's pay they want, right? You know it's money they want.
I ain't no sure.
Nah, there's money they want.
I ain't no...
Don't play here, no. It's money they want.
Big man, I never...
No, but not about you. I am saying you know the industry and it's money they want. So it's either to tell you, these are the packages.
Yeah, that's not. You're not aggressive enough. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I like when the other night.
Mm-hmm.
This is recently.
Mm-hmm.
This is recently. This is last week.
Mm-hmm.
Not last week Friday.
Mm-hmm.
2 Fridays ago.
Mm-hmm.
2 Fridays ago would have been New Year's. What was the date today? Anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
this was recently.
Mm-hmm.
I've been by a bar
Mm-hmm.
in the West, Mukrap Road.
Mm-hmm.
By Strive, big up Fabian by Strive.
Mhm.
Like by Strive.
Mm-hmm.
And she has not, he's walking
Mm-hmm.
by a beer.
Right.
We're spending DJ here. And I outsider.
Right.
This is me outside.
Right.
We're spending DJ here.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know what transpired.
Mm-hmm.
What it looked like to me is a little cuff full pass,
Mm-hmm.
and then right after that the song started playing.
You see? You see?
That's like, damn, it's the first time I've ever really witnessed that live, you know, like, but I know what it was. And I, again, for the DJ who playing by the bar, right, girl, small thing,
Right.
and I be,
Right.
right?
So,
So that ain't hurting nobody.
no, but I know that ain't hurting nobody. I be an small thing.
The men and them
So-
marketing the thing. That is
so-
marketing.
So what I'm saying now, what I'm trying
Marketing.
to so what I'm trying to say is that they need to be clear about that.
Well, they can't do that because that's illegal.
Okay, but they are doing it.
I've heard about it. I've heard stories.
No, they are doing
I
it.
never had the experience.
They are doing it.
And again, I ain't aggressive as that, so I wouldn't know. I ain't
Yeah.
go through that. But you know the scene.
Yeah, but I
But
know
that-
the scene. I come back into the scene, and that's what you know from other artists. That is what I am hearing. That is money that they want.
Back on
Back on track.
Back on track.
Yes.
Right? Back on track. We on track all the time.
Yes.
now. We on track all the time. We
Mhm.
just switching lanes and switching gears
Mhm.
now, because at the end of the day, regardless of what, it will. I do not see things getting
Better. Mm-mm.
worldwide, because we have done the destruction before.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can say is, we learned that charity begins at home. So start at home,
Mm-hmm.
right? And as you say, there are people who speak or think like you,
Of course.
and we work stronger in numbers. And if you can find those people who went in that zone, my suggestion would be team up with those people, like-minded people, and put a little twist on things. So therefore, not everybody will end up down in a zone, because there will be consequences to pay down the road at the end of it all.
Of course.
Right?
Mhm.
So outside of all of that, we have the atmosphere of you have the opportunity to now open the door for younger ones who come in up,
Mm-hmm.
that you can teach. Because I always had an issue with how come there are no music schools, DJ schools?
Nothing.
How come there are no you know, like those musicians and bands and things? And like I said, well, I mentioned voice earlier on, that voice come back, as I say, back in band. You know, at least some musicians getting some play. There was a time in this country, big man, there was only what? One band that was really going out the country. All the other bands like literally gone through.
Yeah.
And then
But
Roy Cape was there, Blacks was there,
then again,
and then Bungie and they used to sometimes jump out and the band don't go.
mm-hmm.
Kes will go with his band. I don't know if Kes fly everywhere with his band,
He does go most of the places with
right?
with his
I've been
band.
in London,
Yeah.
I've been in the US, and I've seen the band.
Yeah.
I've been to Kes
He does.
event, something, right? Destra, this fly with her band,
And sometime. Oh, no.
now and again, right? And I could understand it's because of payment and thing. My biggest thing is this: what is going on with the musicians who are on the ground are you expelling your knowledge to the younger generation coming up, or are you in a school, or you teaching a school? Do you have a school?
Nothing is happening other than Joey. But let me tell you something.
And Joey been,
As you were talking
yeah,
about that, and we were talking about some of the.
solutions.
You remember when, of course, bands used to run things,
Oh, of course.
right?
I know what you're talking about. That we start off.
Right. Bands was running things. As individual, when all the technology came out, brought that in his band.
Marshall.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Change everything. Then after the next individual, which is the Chinese man, start putting what they call this on each. So one DJ playing for about 3 trucks. So they stop hiring. Well,
really?
yeah. So when they get when Double M bring in the technology, you didn't need brass men again.
Oh. Well, right. Yeah.
Remember, you didn't need brass men again because you're playing lines on that thing. You could play the stems. That started to fizzle out bands because people didn't hire in bands again. Next thing, what make it worse? Because remember, it used to have bands parading on the street. That's what people used to come out to see on Carnival Day. You couldn't pass.
You think them fellas could stand up on a road now, way?
No, no, none of them.
You. I remember. You at that was Blue Ventures
Whoever.
on the road.
I have all them band on the road.
On the road. I remember seeing you. Well, it could have been Chandler as well, but I remember, and that's Chandler because this would have been me before radio. I would have known the bands because we were right on Woodford Street, right? So all the bands coming on.
Yep.
Cipriani Boulevard, out of the Savannah, all the bands passing on Chagrin Road, all the bands, and every single band. Poison was the biggest band on the road, mass band on the road, right? But then you had Barbarossa, which was another massive band.
Monster, we used to play for them.
Blue Ventures used to play for
Plus Massive Chandler.
Chandler used to play, well, right, so Barbarossa. And then Barbarossa would have had at least...
Or Big Mike.
At least...
5,000-6,000.
6,000. I thought about trucks I would come on the road.
Yeah, plenty.
And in between the trucks, the music trucks, the DJ trucks, would be
bands.
a brass band.
Yeah.
Right? And you would see forever this band thing, and then one band come, but Blue Ventures was always, and Chandler was always on the road.
Either in front, or it was us on traffic.
Right, and then right. Yes.
Us on traffic for Barbarossa.
Yes.
So either we in front, or we behind.
Yes.
Traffic in front, we behind.
And I think on the days you all alternate.
Yes.
Monday, Tuesday, all alternate. And also, back in the day, you all would have had the opportunity to jam at different events.
Yep.
Running weekend
5-6 feds.
days out.
5-6 feds. Sometimes you start a fed from in the afternoon and you coming home when sunrise the following day.
And still had a jam again the next day.
And
Right?
still at a jam. That is how it was. You had to have a strong throat.
I just said it was like, yes, time changed, things change, but I think the younger generation,
No, they have killed our culture.
not kill it at all. I think they were intimidating.
Yeah, something, but they put a real spoke in our culture, and now
No, but real men ride out too. A lot of fellas left,
Because
like you left
frustration.
because of Disenchanted, right?
Frustration.
Disenchanted, you left. But so somebody told me something years ago. Coffee, you leave the radio. What are you doing, or what are you really leaving for the younger ones coming up after you? I say, what do you mean?
yeah.
I say, well, you left there, so now you leave that space for them to find a way.
Yeah.
And then they develop their own thing. You can't be vexed if it is that they're talking about the whole show. I say, I sat down and I studied that. That was on my mind for a little while. I say, wow. And that was one of the reasons why I tried to get back on radio for years. But of course, even up to last year 2022, 2021, what were we in? 24? 2022 and 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be back on 105.
Yeah.
Got the call. Listen, this is the scene. So this what going on here was actually supposed to be on 105.
Right.
Because I was actually gonna buy out my time in the
Right.
night
Right.
to be able to create this atmosphere for this exact thing.
This would have been terrific.
Right? Because of the fact now, taking it from a different angle. But of course, the powers that be decide that then, nah, coffee, well, nah. You call me
Yes.
and ask me. I say, yes, I ready. I get my own sponsors because I get my own sponsorship to sponsor the time and everything like that. You know, thanks to all the sponsors who dropped it in, you know,
Yeah.
and I had to get back all the money,
Yeah.
right? And because they shut it down.
You see?
So the same idea here.
But
So
that's the thing.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but that was showing you the powers that be are running the business to the ground.
Yeah, them fellas never can run nothing. Anyhow,
Yeah.
let me get into the Surefire.
Yes.
We call this one Surefire 5, which is 5 of your favorite artists or entertainers. Your favorite. Don't have to be local.
I know.
Generally.
Um,
And you give couple of Leon, did you?
Number 1 is Super Blue.
Yes.
He is forever my favorite. I used to, when I was partying, sometimes they kept me so young in parties. Yeah. I used to want to always be in front of the stage when Super Blue come on, just for that man to even spit on me there. That is the kind of love I have for Super Blue. Yes, Super Blue, Andre Tanka. Right? Super Blue, Andre Tanka. Right? Tina Turner was always one of my favorite artists until she died. I have all her CDs, everything. Bands, Aerosmith. Love Aerosmith and Bon Jovi. So them is my top 5. And of course, Elton John.
Okay, I sure can give me 4 more.
I could give you plenty more.
But that's your top 5.
I'm a top 5.
Top
and it will
5.
always be my top. Actually, my number 1 song is from Elton John. Yeah.
Which one is this?
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. That song and What a Wonderful World.
What a wonderful world.
It's my two. From since I know myself to now, those 2 songs hasn't changed up to now.
Fantastic. Wow, wow. Have you ever done vocal training and stuff, or that's just your...
I did that with Chris Tambu Herbert. At the time, he was kind of mentoring me and stuff.
The boss.
Yeah.
One of the guys who's...
Yeah.
Man. Wow.
Yeah.
Chambu.
Yeah.
So can you just tell them where you could recommend, or who you could recommend to go to if you really want to
What, voice training and stuff?
voice training, vocal training, anything? Because you see, at the end of the day, you have fellas running out on stage now that just
No,
running out.
they recording in the studio. Sometimes they're recording in the wrong key in the studio, and the producer is fixing their voices. So when they come out to sing live,
Push a button.
yeah, push a button and they wherever, and you know, some of them singing, they don't even know keys. So they can't perform with a live band. So most of them, that's why they have to perform. You realize most of the entertainers or so-called soca stars in Trinidad is singing with their full recording
Yeah.
and acting like DJs
Yeah. Well, yes.
in the sense of hyping, talking, and your voice going down the road and just coming back in the chorus.
Yeah.
That is not us. Us, we who come from the 80s, 90s, we know about singing. We know about going on stage and just performing.
I am really truly. I've heard a lot of people say, "Boy, they're damn pissed."
Yeah.
Because they had to go on here if they wanted to hear you sing on the damn track.
Yes.
They had to play the CD in the
Yes,
car.
and imagine that going on with a band.
Yeah, crazy.
With a band, that is happening. So for the youths, it are plenty places. I haven't been in the country so much that I can know who is but it's easy to find a voice trainer now. I know about long time and thing, but now, no.
I used to I remember,
And
not physically, but I remember I used to get clout.
yeah,
Not physically, but clout meaning like
Yes.
at
Yes.
fashion. Big man,
yeah,
what word is that?
yeah,
And I would have had people like that,
yeah.
you know, popping into the studio
Yes.
if I pronounce something wrong.
Yes. Yes.
So those are the kind of people that you need to give you that sort of
yeah,
guidance and that.
yeah, it's the same thing like what going on now in the country, that the grandparents and the people from the the 50s and 60s, 70s, they are dying out.
Well, the diet,
So nothing and no knowledge has been passed down.
children making children. I mean,
And
it
children
was- it
making
was- it
children.
was- it was-
Yeah,
it was a-
so that is
but-
the problem.
But we could also do our part in
Educating,
assisting,
yeah. So
yes.
what we are doing right now is actually educating,
Mhm.
the youths that coming up and the singers that coming up. People just ask me if I would encourage a young person to come into soca music.
Mhm.
And be honest with you, in these times, I would not do that.
No, I don't think you shouldn't do that. You should encourage them.
No, I
Just-
wouldn't.
Just assist them and get, because listen, you also have the word to learn, but they take it that literal, right? But you also have to, I would say, give them that vibe.
No, give them the knowledge
Because
about
then the thing about it is that if you don't do that and you don't encourage someone to come in,
But
that person might be the next.
I know.
Superstar
But
in
the
the
thing
country.
is, the industry is not encouraging.
Well, that's all right.
I
You'll
could
find
encourage
out
them,
afterwards.
but then the you see, is a difference in attitude right now, and these youths would not take what we took. Myself, Star, Terry Seals, Sean Caruth, all these people who, we take a lot, we endure a lot, and these youths will not take that to go out there with a producer and spend $10,000 and $15,000 working in KFC, working as a garbage man, working somewhere fixing cars, and take the hard-earned money where they could have mind their family and not get one airplay on the station. A man taking the money
now
and
different,
not.
Now different. I will tell you why now is different.
Tell me
because they
why.
have the platforms that you don't
Need.
to go on the radio anymore
Right,
to promote your music.
right. That,
You
that,
have to
that,
use the button.
that is why I have what I will encourage. This is what I will encourage is heavily build a TikTok platform, and that is what I build in now. A TikTok platform, a real working heavily on that, and plus sending your music to all these different platforms. You see, and that's the next thing. You have to find somebody out there, not in Trinidad, who could work with you and get your music. When you release it, going to all radio stations in the States, Canada, it going to all the
but
platforms,
somebody-
Spotify, everything
but
like that.
somebody who don't know anybody who's out there, how do they channel that? So again, this is where the big brother syndrome and the big sister syndrome wanna come in, because now you have to,
Right.
if
So,
you know somebody with a
Right.
with a little zone.
so these things are putting in place, and they are in place, and I'm working with somebody right now that is, when I record now, that is why I am not going to stop recording. And I am going to keep recording quality music. As I said, I used to record music desperate.
Right.
And when I mean desperate, it's just like other artists that recording in Trinidad at this point. They're recording desperate music. In the sense that they want to mind their family. They want to have a hit. They want to be able to do things and not waste money. You catch where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I got you.
So you're reaching that position where you're just desperate to live because this is the music you want to do, and you can't progress with it in Trinidad. So that's the problem. I will encourage anybody to make sure you are secure mentally, you are secure physically, monetary, the things that you want to accomplish. Work and get them things first before you take your money and invest it in soca, because it will leave you.
So they said you invested in R&B.
Huh?
If they said they invested in
Well,
R&B or hip hop or dancehall
or Trinidad music, yeah, because they're making money. The music ain't played.
Soca music making real money.
Soca music man making money for who in this circle. If you're not in that circle, You're like this sorrel glass right out here. You're outside.
I swear, by Spongy, I don't know, but we really, I mean, you guys in this industry long before I
Yeah.
was.
It's
But we
difficult.
come from a different cloth,
Yeah.
right? And I even with my children and all too is a different kettle of fish with them and teaching them the right things or get them to go along because again we had the experience of what we went through.
Yeah.
But some people take it like this. We don't want them to go through what we went through. That is a
Yes.
wrong mentality.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a right mentality because
Yeah.
now you're gonna put them through the real thing,
Yeah.
but they have to go through certain things in order for them to
Yeah.
gain that strength and gain
Of
that
course.
knowledge
Of course.
going forward.
Of course.
So we talking down the road and we reach down the road, but we reach to 2000 and we reach 2000 yet, you know. We 99.
Still in 99 with Blue
99 to
Ventures.
2000 Blue Ventures.
Yeah.
What happened to Spongy after that?
So after that, as I said, Blue Ventures was going to fizzle out again. And then Bert and Slim, all of them decide to, you know what, let me form something. Mano Maslin Sons, and they form Island Vibe. I went over there for a few years.
You lie. Oh yes.
Nicky Cordner, Bert and Tony.
But what about Burton, boy?
We just had a talk last night. He out in California.
He been outside. What was his wife's name?
Lisa.
They still.
No.
Yeah.
Nah, but they get along and stuff. You
That's
know,
good.
for the kids and stuff. You know, his
Burton was
his
old.
you know his niece is Megan Trainer.
What?
Well, Lisa is her aunt.
Really?
Yeah, Megan Trainer. You remember Megan Trainer used to perform in Burton Band
Outside.
outside.
Oh.
That's
yeah,
how
that
she
band outside,
that's
right?
how she loved Caribbean music and stuff.
Right. Wow, listen to the big
Yeah.
bam boom.
Yeah.
Files bust out.
Yes.
On the block.
Yeah, on
I
the
saw
block.
that is what happened on
Yep.
the block. When on the
Yep.
block, files is just
Files
bust.
does bust.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you didn't know,
You know.
I didn't know.
You know now.
I didn't know. But Burton. You know, Burton reminded me of Ajala.
Yes.
Energy.
I called him that last night because we had a live with Denise Belfort, Terry Sees myself.
She has a radio program.
Yeah, so we had a live and we were talking and I called him the energy god because I know that. And still we were talking about the music and stuff.
The man come out with boy Catholic converter.
Yes.
Catholic converter or Catholic?
I need a Catholic woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that cat.
The Catholic, yeah.
They're trying to ban us.
Yeah, they tried to ban him. Yeah.
I was like, yo, Burton, dude,
Yeah.
you know, before I even bust the tune,
Yeah.
I said, Burton,
Yeah.
you know they're going to ban this, right?
Yes.
They're not going to play this
And
on
you
radio.
know, Impulse did write that. So at that time, Impulse was like,
Impulse, but where is that?
yes, Impulse was like, he was the you know, Crazy used to be at that, long
he
time.
was, that's-
Impulse did take over from
So,
Crazy
Crazy.
with being controversial.
Crazy. The name,
Mhm.
Subrike,
Yeah. Yes.
kind of depicts the
Yes.
character.
Yes.
And
Yes.
by the way, Crazy, big up to Crazy.
Of
Crazy's
course.
still running hard all
Crazy
now.
running hard, man.
Crazy performing in he was in
Mhm.
Dominica recently. I
Yeah,
think
with
it was.
Super and
And
somebody
that's the funny
else.
thing. I don't know if you understand people, fellas, artists, entertainers,
Yeah.
people on the whole outside.
Yeah.
You have to go through the mill in order for you to really be able to sustain.
Yeah.
You want to get high, you want to get
Yeah.
quick. You see, you want to get too quick.
Yeah.
Hurry bird, don't build goodness as them old people used to say a long time.
Yeah.
Hurry bird can't build goodness.
No.
You
You have to have a
understand?
foundation.
Must have a foundation, and
Must
you
have
need
a
to have a foundation. You have to listen
Yeah.
to people. You have to
Listen.
Pay attention.
You have to listen, you have to go and think your craft because not everybody have. If you're listening the voices now for soca, they cannot sing. Let's be real, they
Well,
can't sing.
I was told I was not an announcer. I was a radio DJ, and I was
Right.
pissed.
Right,
But I didn't understand because
Yes.
of ignorance.
right.
So, you can see the same thing.
But it's the same thing that happening now with the soca music. Most of the youths, they are not singers. They don't know keys. They don't know. They never go and take a voice lesson. They just have a good song in their head. They could come up with a nice melody, everything. They went to a producer, produce it, and no training. So that's why they are failing as performers. They might have a big song, but
they can't
they
perform
can't
it,
perform it. So that why,
can't perform
with
it.
that one performance, you go and do and poop down the place. They're not hiring you again.
I mean, I'm laughing, but it's serious.
It's serious thing. They're not
Good
hiring
advice.
you.
Have you ever written any songs for anyone?
I used to write for kids. I had some write for some children for the school competition. Normally they will always come in the first three.
Really?
When
So
my-
when you had your
Yes.
anybody who came forward.
One
went forward.
girl, no, they stopped singing. One girl, she ended up in the finals of the kids thing in the savannah
Okay.
with one of my composition.
Have you ever considered doing?
I used to be intent.
Well, have you ever considered doing Skinner Park? Because-
I am considering doing that now. I am considering going in and doing a chutney song and all. I have big plans. I really have big plans and big ideas because I want all my work to be of good quality. I'm not going and just put out something anymore. I'm not going and just take songs from anybody and let it hype me up and say, "Oh, big song."
You have an album?
I have my album that I sell outside, that I sell more than any artist in this country.
You have an album, Spongy.
Yes.
Spongy, you're playing mad
Yes,
or you have an
that is
album?
that is why I'm updating it now. You see, this is the reason why I'm not taking on. Long time I would have been want to cry, and I'll have be depressed and everything. But I have gone out there and make myself comfortable enough in life where I don't have to depend on if they play my music or not.
Right.
I am doing my music because I love it. I want to record. So, if I record 12 songs and Trinidad don't play it, I send it outside here because I tell you I have somebody who doing that now. And plus, I will put my music on a flash drive because nobody buys CDs again and sell it to all the tourists out there. Those white people, they love our music. And my duo, my band is the #1 band on the whole fleet of the cruise line.
Okay,
the
so
cruise
we
line
get to
and
this
the-
point now. So you are on the cruise line. You have been on the cruise line for
Yes.
how many years now?
Since in the 20s.
Since in the 20s? Since
Yes,
you were
about
in
20.
your 20s?
Yeah. No, not me. Since in like 2023,
Oh!
24.
How you be 2024?
Yeah.
You-
Not 2004. That's always make that mistake. Sorry.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry. 2004 or
So
late
after you left
2005.
the Blue Ventures and them kind of thing, that's the
Island
decision-
Vibe.
Island
I
Vibe.
made a decision that
Yeah.
this soca is going to send somebody crazy. And you have to be begging for your music to be played. You have to be begging to be heard. You know, man just treating it disrespectful and not watching that
You're spending money to do something.
No, I'm not even studying the money. It's just like, hey, this guy really love the culture. Let me try to help this guy now. Or let me try to educate this guy on what he is not doing right. And let me put him on the right course.
Aggression. I remember the late Itel D saying to me, you know, what is his soul? He walked
Yeah,
from Arima
yeah.
to Port of Spain,
Wow.
right? To help build a certain studio in town,
Right,
big studio in town.
right,
He slept in his station.
right.
And as a matter of fact, even before that, right? Even before that,
Mm-hmm.
right? He is not once he walked from Arima.
Wow.
And that is just to drop music,
But I
carry
just,
music.
you see, but that's what I'm talking about.
And Arima to walk from Arima to
People
Port of
doesn't
Spain.
know the sacrifices that artists make, and not all artists would think like me to make sure you reach a comfortable
You're
state.
financially comfortable.
Because if you feel you have money,
Yeah.
spend your money on soca, and you will see how much money you really have. So that's the reason, and that's the decision I made, you know, to go out and do cruise ship work. People laugh at me.
Yeah.
You know, other entertainers and singers say, oh, he gone out there on a cruise ship, and, you know, bring it down like it was nothing. And these are the same people now who is calling my phone to
Yeah.
get on a cruise ship.
Too late shall be the cry.
No, you know me.
Yeah.
No, it's not too late with me. For me, it's too late for them. But what I mean is not.
Yeah, not you I talk about, for them I talk about.
It's too late because they realize now that soca take everything from them or take back everything from them. And now they want to have a life. And I have no problem in recommending people, in helping all people. Now, I could be very bitter, you know, just like how the industry is bitter towards me and other artists.
Yeah.
I could be very bitter, but that is not how I grew up. My mother never instilled that kind of things in me. She always taught me to be kind and help people.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me up to this day that even if I want to be angry with you, Coffee, I can't. If even I hear you say something about me, and because of our history, I can't be angry with you.
Well, at least you will confront me.
I will confront you.
Yeah, well, that's how it's supposed to be.
You know,
that's how it's supposed to be.
and
You should talk behind
yes,
your back and
that's how the business is. I rather a man, as they say, not be petty with me or whatever it is, and the business has become so petty that a man would hear something and not ask you. If he close enough, if you're close enough with me, I would tell you. You know, it had nothing to, but that is how it is and stuff and thing, and you know, coming.
You don't change your personality.
I'm not changing my personality
because at the end
and
that's what they wanted to believe. Because again, I even struggle with that for some years.
Yes, yeah.
Where it is that they have you believing that you're not good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not good. The people who.
That's exactly how the business does have you. Like they don't make you feel like you're not good enough.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't saying nothing. But when I reached out on the cruise line, watch now, it was like a shock to me. I am performing to 5,000 people, 4,000 people. On these ships that are performing on now, we have about 2,700 people who come, guests all the time. And I will carry out CDs. I will carry out 300 CDs, and that will sell out when it are CD, because I stopped doing CDs now. I'm looking to do the flash drive. I will carry out 300 CDs, sometimes 500 CDs.
You still get music sold?
And those CDs are sold out in 2 months. I have to send a friend in the States is who used to make and send these CDs for me. So if I do in a 6 months contract, think about that. And my CD is going for either 2 for $25 or $10 a CD.
Right.
Think about that.
You're doing the extra thing.
Which artist in Trinidad selling 300 CDs?
Well,
you know what I'm talking about? Them time. Yeah.
Nobody doing that now.
Exactly.
Doing
I know it's Spotify and as well.
Yeah, so I guess you'll have to run up on that and get.
That is how I put up my music and stuff on Spotify, all these things. Yeah. But coming back to the cruise ship, that is why I'm going to continue recording and just put my music on a flash drive, and I could sell my whole album on the ship.
Well, how do we get to your
page,
online information, your platforms?
All right, Island vybez TNT. That is my Island Vibe duo band. Of course, TikTok, which are becoming a kind of king on TikTok now.
Serious?
Yeah, man.
I don't even on TikTok.
Spongy 1_ Oliver. That is my TikTok handle. And of course, the rest of them is Curtis Oliver, Curtis Spongy Oliver. You'll find me Spongy Oliver on Instagram. Facebook is Curtis Oliver Spongy, and my fan page is Curtis Spongy Oliver.
So you out there jamming on the cruise ships?
Yeah.
Repertoire of music entails what genre?
My thing is mainly Caribbean, but I have made a concerted effort to be different to the other Caribbean bands, because most of them, when they come out, they come and they do just Bob Marley music or reggae music or soca. And that is it. So I sing slows, I sing Ed Sheeran, I sing R&B. According to the space that I'm in, when I'm poolside, it's soca. I don't care. It's soca music. When I'm down in the Centrum, where people are sitting, and sometimes it's nice and quiet, I do like my favorite song, Fields of Gold, all those kind of songs, and different, mixed with the Caribbean music.
Right.
So I sing any genre of music.
Well,
I could sing
know,
rock.
I know that personally.
I could sing hip hop. I could sing.
But the bands
whatever.
long time used to sing all
Everything.
genre.
Everything. Yeah.
I have some. Do
Yeah.
you have any live
Uh,
from any of the bands that you had?
I was supposed to have live from Horizon. I was supposed to have live from Blue Venture, but it's to find it.
It's to find it.
Because I have CDs stuck up, and they always tell me throw away the CDs, and I'm saying no. I'm not going to
I
do
told
it.
Star that I have a box of CDs that
I'm not throwing it away.
entertainers sent music to me in the
Yeah.
radio station.
Yeah. Look,
And
but look, I asked
I
you the
forgot.
other day for some.
Well, when I was telling him
yes.
that as well, I said, Spongy called me, I said, because when I sent the picture, I took out
Yes.
some records that to show,
Yeah.
to send some pictures to him,
Yeah.
right? That was the last of
Yeah.
the records pressed
Yes.
for soca music.
Yeah.
That I think
You
that
have.
is the last that I have.
Of course, them is thing to keep.
Right? I believe, and in my home down in South,
Yeah.
I have an area that I'm gonna
Yeah, it's history. It's like,
put that up.
but that is
that's gonna be the room.
something. That is something good. That is, you know.
The only person I know like that, I mean, there may be other people like that, but
Yeah.
the only person I know like that is Sukram Ali.
Yeah.
Sukram Ali, the ultimate selector, has,
Yes, the ultimate selector.
my God,
Yeah,
the
I
ultimate
could imagine.
collection of
History.
everything. That man he is a history buff.
Now, that is the things that Trinidad should have for when all these people from the cruise ship coming in, and all. We really don't have nothing. You know, we don't
Tourism.
even have a
We-
good package.
We don't market tourism.
We don't market it. You know, you're sending people up to the what do you call this place where
Fort
the
George.
monk is, and
Monks
and
Monks in
the
Benedict?
yeah, monks in Benedict. That part of the tour. I was so ashamed of that, and
Why?
up the highway with the lady young on the lookout. I mean, we have so much more beautiful things that tourists could be going and says. The stuff that they have tourists, you know. Man. So it is what it is.
Well, I have experiences of going places. You know, Trinidad and Pinal has a mud volcano, right?
I heard about that. I never went. I just went all these years. I was feeling so shame that I went to the Nylon pool in Tobago when in 2000 and something.
Uh-huh.
Imagine that, all this life. And I didn't believe that was so beautiful because the reef was so nice at that point in time. Not now like I would dying out.
Yeah, well, then mash it up.
They mash it up, you
Well,
know?
I mean, global warming as well too.
Yeah.
What is it like? So, what are some of the areas that you visit on the cruise?
I have traveled the Mediterranean. I have traveled Europe. Probably the most, every European place you could think about.
Uh-huh.
I've gone to Russia. I've gone to the Antarctic.
Well, I mean, I see you post
I've
and
gone
stuff.
to Greenland. I have gone to Iceland. I have traveled Canada extensively. I've traveled the States extensively. That is true, of course, band life and ship life. Ship life, I have seen so many places. I was supposed to be on the world cruise. I gave up the world cruise because I didn't want to be on that ship to be so far away because they're now doing Brazil run and then they going around the whole world. They're finishing in November. I was supposed to be on that cruise because the band, they wanted me on that cruise.
Wow.
And I give that up to be on a ship in Trinidad. That come into Trinidad. This jewel ship that come in here now.
Yeah.
And what end up happening is that now they take me off of that ship after 4 months. 4 and something months to send me on a new ship to do a full contract. So I end up losing out anyhow I take it.
That's right,
So better they go my world cruise.
Well, hey, listen.
Yeah, but when you're good.
I believe everything happens.
No, but when you're good.
Well, that is it as well.
You know.
You're in high demand.
Yeah, in high demand. So I end up telling them even the other day that, you know, I don't want to do all these long contracts again. I only do after this one. I only do in 4 months contract.
Right. Boil it down.
Yeah,
take some
boiling
time
it
home.
down. And thinking about, you know, doing a band or doing some variety show that I could be a fly on to just go and sing in the theater. So that is my next plan.
Okay. That's a nice plan.
Yeah, so you could go from ship to ship instead of I staying out there so long. So yeah.
Well, that should be progress within your zone, and you've
Yeah.
been there for how
Yeah.
many years now? Since 2004, you said?
Yeah.
God damn, that's
Yeah.
almost
Well,
20 years.
the latest this Royal Caribbean that are on right now, I started there in 2016. I was on Carnival Cruise Line before.
Right, but
and
I mean, but in
Princess.
the industry,
Yes, the
continuously
cruising in
since
yes.
2004, so this
Yes.
year will be actually 20 years you're
Yes,
there.
I didn't even check that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long time on the ocean.
Well, beside the 2 years for COVID, I was one of the first band that they called home. I mean, the office, the boss called me home to come back out.
Right. I think I remember speaking to you around that time as well.
So that to tell you how you know popular I am.
That's
in the cruise
that's
industry.
lovely. That's wonderful, man.
Yeah, so-
we on the block.
Yeah, on the block.
We on the block.
Bless up.
And we're getting ready to wrap
Wind it
things
up,
up
yeah.
on the
So-
inside here, gotta thank Spongy for passing through
Yeah,
and
man.
enlightening us. And again, when you're on the block, you talk about any and everything that
Of course.
that's going on, and you know what I mean,
Of
and
course.
getting that inside of your life
Yeah,
from the
man.
get go to
So now,
where you are
to
now
present.
and future for you with regards to how you want to operate going forward.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you any recommendation or words of inspiration today.
Well, words are
people outside
words
there,
are
not just
in
youths
words
alone,
are inspiration to anyone in these trying times, because trust me, it is a trying time for everyone. You know, you have to have a level of confidence in yourself. You have to know that if something happening to you now and you are going, make sure you go through that situation. Go through it. Go through the fire. Go through the hell. Because trust me, it have a brighter side. You know, you will come through it and you will be better for learning and experiencing what you go through. Don't try to fight it. And of course, again, have confidence in yourself and what you're doing. If you don't know something, ask our advice. Ask.
No shame in the
No
game.
shame. No shame at all,
No
at
shame
all,
in
at
the
all,
game.
at all. And be kind. Be kind. Don't try to be hateful and grudgeful. It don't work. It don't last. Try to be kind. Have some love in your heart. Although people will tell you differently. And try to remain humble on the ground all the time. You're never too big for anybody. Don't care where you reach in life.
Words of wisdom and great advice
Yeah.
from Spongy, the original.
Yeah. Although you is the host
Yeah.
or on the block,
Yeah.
the person that bring the sorrel and the person that cook the food and
Yeah.
bring it out, they're very important too.
Casket caterers.
You see,
Definitely.
so everybody have a part to play. So never look down on a garbage man. Never look down on a person who washing the wares when you go on a restaurant. Because if them in wash the wares, you can't eat. The chef could be the best chef. That restaurant not running.
Yeah.
So always remember that.
Yeah.
Bless up.
Yeah, man, Spongy, thanks for
Nice
passing
being
through
on the block. Yes, I.
Thanks for passing on the
Yes,
block
sir.
and
Boom.
and vibes in us on the
Yeah,
block.
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hopefully, this
Of course, when I come in,
Podcast
August, I coming back on the block.
yeah, well, I might have to meet you outside.
Well,
You
all
never
right.
know.
You never know how
You
things
never
goes.
know that-
You
how things
never
go.
know.
The block is you're on the block, and you never know what happened on the block.
Yes.
Never know who passing. Block.
Yeah,
So,
man.
episode 2, dog, good vibes.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah?
Cheers.
Stay up
Bless up.
and check it out. We're on YouTube. Don't forget Casket Caterers. Casket 22 on Instagram. Check them out.
Food
Check out
nice.
their
Food nice.
Yeah.
Watch now. I feel I'm making a TikTok. A TikTok video on is casket? Casket? Yeah. I go do a TikTok. Yeah.
Good vibes.
Yeah, man.
Well, peace out.
Peace.
Have a blessed one. Stay
Yeah.
safe.